And back here on the Trading Post, I'm joined now by Brent Coffing and Brian Freshour. And Brent, you've got a song coming out today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I lost my brother. Cancer got him a year ago, the 21st of December. And it was just kind of one of them things where I had all these thoughts and feelings, and I'm a musician, so that's kind of how I get those kind of things out, is, kind of write about it. And I really, it hurt, to think about it and so on. But so I ignored those thoughts and feelings for a little while until it got enough of me that I'm like, okay, well, I got to do something. So Brian and I have been friends for, I don't even know, long time. And I'm blessed to have some pretty talented friends. And I just kind of got with him on my thoughts and ideas of what I was wanting to do, and he's like, "Let's do it, man." So then I was like, "Well," I had some musicians in mind that I wanted, because I wanted it to sound a certain way, and I knew these guys would do what I was looking for. So Michael Becker is on guitar.
Yeah, Michael Becker and I played in Mindshank about 20 years ago. Lead guitarist, just an extraordinary person who has also been through this kind of loss, and we thought it would just be the perfect match.
Yeah. And his style of playing was also what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And then on bass, his name's Darren Wilson. He and I have been in numerous bands together over the years, and actually he lives up in Minneapolis now, and so it's kind of cool. The great thing about the internet is, we got all of our tracks down and sent everything to him, and he played his parts and sent it back. So I haven't even seen Darren throughout this whole process. Troy McKelvin, he's a drummer from Wabash that Brian's in a group with.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising.
He's
a drummer.
Yep. Fantastic drummer. It turned out exactly like I had hoped, actually. But
yeah, we had a the biggest challenge for us was getting all these thoughts sort of whittled down into, because there was so much on his mind.
Right.
And he brought me this paper with just very wordy, but it's important to get everything down in the writing process, regardless of whether it's going to fit the form of the song or not. Just get the ideas down, and then you can condense them, I guess, poetically.
Yeah.
And that way you're more efficient with your words. So it was we decided to, instead of forcing the song, we allowed the song to tell us what it wanted to be. And that's a lesson that we've all learned over the years, is you can't push it. It's almost like a dance when you're creating, and you want to let the song tell you as you move. You just get started, right? Just get something down, and then you'll hear something in your head. You go, oh, let's try that. Yeah. And the song has a mind of its own, it seems, sometimes. Okay. And so we trusted that process, and we were very, very happy, and I think a little surprised at how well that worked for us.
Yeah, it turned out really well, or, well, we thought so anyway. But yeah, and then of course Brian played keys, and all the backing vocals that you hear is Brian, and we used all of his recording equipment to just did it over here at his apartment.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the plug. In World Studios right here in town.
That's right. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun, and got a lot of thoughts and feelings out that I needed to get out, and yeah, that's kind of how it turned out.
So what was the writing process like? I mean, I know first you put the words down, and
I kind of went over to Brian's house, and he's like, so, I mean, I started kind of humming what I was wanting, and he's like, okay, so minor, all right, and then he came up with a riff, I guess, and
yeah, and with music, there's no rules, but there are tools. right? It's kind of like having a box of building blocks.
Right.
You know, you've got all these pieces that fit certain ways with each other. There's no rules. You can build anything you want. And so I thought, well, this is a complicated emotional issue, very deep. And so I felt maybe a complex time signature or meter would be good. So we chose a 6/8 feel, right? It's a little more emotional, and it has a complex feel to it, but it's still easy to feel. And then Brent had mentioned he wanted something that had, I've been working with Brent vocally for years, and so I'm very familiar with his range, and so we wrote in his range, and then he wanted something that felt like some of his favorite groups, so we tailored it that way.
Okay.
And it all just kind of fell together for us once we got moving. It took its own momentum.
My favorite groups, and then too, where, you know, I knew that style would fit me vocally, you know, so yeah.
What was that one day he called me one day, because we'd been working on vocals, and it was sounding okay, it was sounding good, but he'd been practicing at home one day. He says, "Hey, I'm feeling good, my voice is warmed up, I'm just feeling it right now." I said, "Get over here." And we tracked it right then. He did it in like one take.
Nice.
And it just happened. It was magic. And that's what we all live for, is that magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
First time that's ever really happened to me was where, yeah, it was funny. I mean, I'm just like doing dishes at home and kind of listening to the song, and you know, I wanted to be, I mean, yeah, we wrote it, but I still wanted to be as familiar, you know, when I actually go to actually record the track, the keeper track, if you will. I wanted to be as on top of that as possible. So I'm just kind of singing, doing, like I said, doing dishes, housework. My wife's at work. And, yeah, and then he's on his way home from another rehearsal down in Indy, and he called me. I wasn't.
That was the gig, yeah.
Yeah.
I had been, sometimes when you've been playing all night long, all that music's just swimming in your head, all the mashup of all the stuff you've done. And Brent's song in his project was always kind of in the back burner.
Right.
And somehow all that classic rock meshed into this riff and this chorus, and I just heard it. And again, that's that magic that we all hope to get. And I called him, I said, "Brent, I think I've got what you're after." And I played it for him, what was the next day or the day after that.
Something like that.
And just kind of kicked it on the piano for him. And that's when we knew we had at least the bones of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that day that he was driving home from Indy and called me, and yeah, I was feeling it, and I'm just like, man, it was just coming out easy. And so it's nice that, you know, back in the day, you know, you had to schedule studio time and you know, all this and that kind of thing, and it's very nice that I have a friend that is very talented in that aspect of things, and I didn't have to schedule anything. It was just, so, hey, I'm gonna be home in an hour, just come on over.
Yeah.
So that's how that worked out.
Yeah, this whole, I guess magic's the right word for this. It all just came together magically.
Yeah.
So about how long from your decision to make this into a song to finished did it take?
Oh gosh. So okay. So I need to let you know that you know, we're all busy, right? And one of my main things, there's two main things. The only ego in the room is the song.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing was no pressure. We get it when we get it. And I never pushed. He probably pushed more than I did. But so I'm going to say, gosh.
I want to say we've probably got 15 hours in it, if you had to add them all, stack them all in order.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Probably start to finish.
That's pretty. That's a lot more than I normally would put into, you know. But because this man is my brother, to me, you know?
Right.
And so I gave it a little extra TLC too from my end. But what Brent said right there is pretty critical in the creative process. When you're pressured, I mean, I know that when you're in LA and New York, there's pressure.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you know, if you can avoid that, do it, because you're more relaxed and your mind goes into the right mindset a little easier.
Yeah.
And when I bill clients, I do a different setup so that there is no clock watching. So that's why I prefer to work that way. And I always get better results when no one's feeling that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the idea, was that I wanted everybody to just be relaxed. I didn't want the feeling of, gosh, I need to be XYZ somewhere else, and I really don't have time for this, and you know, I worked with Michael for a while over at Rochester Ford, and he was just fantastic with. I mean, that guy came in and, man, he had it.
Oh, an epic lead. I mean, and I wasn't a bit surprised, but I'm always like, still, whenever he plays something, it's especially for the first time like that. Again, I wasn't surprised that he came out with something so great, but it always catches me, and
Yeah.
you know, he's just a brilliant guitarist. And he has a way of taking what you're telling him, interpreting it. And for that matter, Troy McKelvin was the same way on drums.
Mm-hmm.
We actually took all of my studio down to his house in Wabash and set it up. And we weren't sure. He'd been practicing. We weren't sure what he was going to have. And in the first 45 seconds, we were sitting at each other just smiling and nodding our heads going, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
And he knocked it out. And
it's funny because usually in a recording process, you do the drums first.
Right.
Well, the bass was the only thing left.
That was the only thing missing. I had used some artificial drums just as placeholders.
Right.
So
just kind of like a scratch track, if you will.
You need a real drummer. So, but...
yeah, and then once we got the drums done, then we sent everything to Minnesota.
Yeah, and again, Darren...
Oh,
everybody just rocked it. And
yeah, just
Darren
knocked it out of the park.
Was smooth and right where everything needed to be, and
I had a couple of things that I wanted him to do, but outside of that, you know, I shared those with him. And you know, there's this drum part that comes in about 3/4 of the way through the first verse, and I wanted a nice big bass lick there, but outside of that, he just. But I knew Darren would do what I was looking for.
Everybody did. I mean, we shared with them our philosophy of let the song tell you, and then we trusted each artist with their instrument.
Yep, 100%.
All right. Well,
I definitely couldn't have done it without every one of them. So.
Well, Brent, we've been sitting here talking a lot about your new song here. So why don't we do this? Why don't you go ahead, introduce us to your new song, let us know the name of it. We'll listen to it, and then we'll come back and kind of tell everybody where they can find it at.
Yeah, it's called Brother. It was my brother that passed away, and so for that reason, that's just kind of how it came out. It was just a working title, actually, at first, and then it just stuck. So that's where it came from.
All right.
And you guys get the exclusive first play. And it'll be up on YouTube and Facebook today.
All right. So without further ado, here it is. It's Brent Coffing's new hit, Brother.
You died on a Wednesday, for some time stood still. They came and took you away. Now every day's a Wednesday, and probably always will. I don't know how to feel. Gone too soon, it's just not fair. When I turn around, I will see you there. Mother, can you hear me? Father in prayer.
an odd number.
Gone is your life's light in your cool, quiet ways. Your arms that protect those you love and chance running days. Memories are what get me through. When I close my eyes, all I see is you. Brother, can you hear me? Father and friend. Brother, can you help me? I can't see the end.
It came like a thief in the night. It took you. It stole your life.
All right, well, Brent, that was an absolutely powerful song. You gave me all sorts of insight on what this thing was going to sound like, but man, hearing it, absolutely fantastic. You guys all did a great job. Let's take a moment here real quick to thank everybody who worked on this project with you.
Yes, for sure. Big thanks to my brother and one of my best friends, Brian Freshour, Michael Becker, Darren Wilson, and Troy McLevin. Just fantastic guys, fantastic musicians, and like I said, I couldn't have done it without them.
And again, it's up on YouTube and Facebook. Go check it out. How do they find it, though? Just search up Brent Coffing Brother?
Yep, just look on YouTube. It's just Brent Coffing's YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then on Facebook, it'll be on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Super.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming in. And
Thanks
Brent,
for having us.
Thank you for sharing this story with us, and look forward to all the success from this song for you.
Hey,
Thank you.
thanks a lot, Paul.
We'll be back with more of the Trading Post right after this on WROI.